KAFTAN television, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And right now, I've been joined by a guest in the studio to analyze some of the headlines that made it to our national dailies. And joining me today is comrade Bitako Abubarka, who is a public affairs analyst. You're welcome and good morning.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Good morning, Nigerians.
Also, a gentle reminder that our phone lines are now open for you to call in, give in your contribution or ask a question. Happy weekend, let me start by saying.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have much time on our side, so I will just go straight to the questions I have. Going through the national dailies, national papers of our... the only thing I was just seeing, almost all our newspaper has this Emir, Kano State, this Emir that has been brought by Emir. Exactly. So I was going to ask, say, the Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has reappointed Sanusi as the Emir of Kano 4 years after he was being dethroned by the former governor. What is your thought in all of this?
Well, my personal thought is traditional institutions in the present scheme of governance in Nigeria is to preserve, promote the sanctity of our traditions and customs, and equally advise the government adequately on these two items, and as well advise the government on the welfare of the people. These are the fundamental roles of traditional institutions. They serve as beacon of the society, the pentagon or the foundation of the society. Every individual has his or her tradition and custom to promote, protect, and preserve.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
Then I felt, as a prince too, traditional institutions should not be a kind of entangled with crisis, political crisis.
Okay.
When they are entangled with political crisis, I feel to me the heritage of our people will be endangered. So advisably, there should be, it's an institution, traditional institution, as well as our religion institution, should be these two areas where there should be decorum and sanctity in the way we conduct the affairs of these two institutions. You understand? It happened. Sanusi, His Majesty, Sanusi, the Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, was dethroned during the era of His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, who is now my national chairman of my great party, APC,
Yes.
because of some misunderstanding, let me put it that way, political misunderstanding. And what was it glaring? That the Emir was not a kind of, can I say, checkmating or watching some of his political utterances. That he was behaving more of an activist than a traditional ruler.
But he was speaking the truth. He was saying...
Well, he could be speaking the truth, but as an Emir, a first-class Emir of that, who upholds the values of the entire people of Kano. And you know, Kano is Kano, what happens in Kano could affect the entire northern region. You understand? Could affect the entire the politics of northern region. So because of that, Ganduje to him felt the Emir could have a kind of the Emir, for crying out loud, have direct access to him. He will have as well channel his positions, you understand, to him in a more official way than coming out in public to announce it.
But the activities of the government should be made transparent.
You see, I just told you that the roles of a traditional ruler going by the 1986 constitution is to preserve, protect, and promote the culture of the people. Then how do you preserve, protect, and promote the culture of the people? Is by being absolutely upright and disciplined, and by handling the affairs of the chiefdom or whatever, the institution, in a more diplomatic pattern. That is my take, you understand? So as an emir, if you have issues that you felt your city, your people are not in a kind of given adequate welfare, you use your office, you present your issues in an official and diplomatic manner, not by coming out just like we activists that we come out and announce it or say it in public. That was, I think, that was the misunderstanding of they had with the then governor, that maybe with some other issues. You know, in governance, when you are falling out of a government that you are serving in, there is a technical way of knocking you out. One reason or the other could be attributed, could be created, or could be found. You understand, and thereby attaching it to the one you are found wanting, then you'll be knocked out. That is why philosopher says a friend in government is a friend lost. You understand? So it happened in my state. The last 8 years of the then governor, His Excellency Darius Diction Ishaku, there was a proliferation of traditional institutions. Some were relegated, some were subjected to inferiority complex. You understand? Some were promoted, and those that were installed newly were given preference than those who were there many years ago. So the whole take is politicians should not forget the fact that they are part and parcel of the society, and they formed that part of that tradition and custom that we have to preserve. So what am I trying to say in essence? What I'm trying to say in essence is that politicians should be able, that occupy public office, should be able to respect that traditional institution and religious institutions, because religious institution has to do with the belief. They go hand in hand with the traditional institution. You understand? They go hand in hand. That is why most of the times when there is a traditional council meeting, you see either the imam or the pastors are there in the palace, because they work hand in hand. You understand? So in handling the affairs of these institutions, our government, our governors, so to say, should be able to be more diplomatic, more realistic, more visionary in that respect. Because anything that affects that will entirely affect the society. And that is why, because of all this kind of misunderstanding here and there, it is now apparent, reports, there are available reports that some of these traditional rulers have hand in banditry, kidnapping, all these sort of criminal tendencies that are bedeviling the nation now.
So do you think they do?
Of course, there are some were found wanting, particularly in Zamfara and Co. Why? Because they have been relegated to the background. They are not carried alone in the governance. You understand? And they felt, oh, I have the people. I have the people. I'm with the people at the grassroots. I am considered as the traditional father of not only the people, but even the governor or the chairman of the local government, so to say. Even the president as he is today now, if he can now visit his community, he has to bow down to his traditional father, irrespective of the fact that he is the president, commander-in-chief of the nation. You understand? That sanctity, traditional institution that will be should be upheld and respected. Dethroning and installment, dethroning and enthronement of traditional chiefs and traditional fathers unnecessarily does not go well. It doesn't tell well. You understand? Though if found wanting, that could be done. It's normal. If a traditional father is found wanting, dethroning is normal. Just like when the governor is found wanting, he is, by constitutionally, he can be impeached. Yes. You understand? So there is that provision. But it should not be done so wantonly. That's a kind of create imbalance, create tension in the land when there are many issues, fundamental issues to handle. I think that is just my own observation.
Okay, now the former governor still went ahead to dethrone the 5 emirs that was appointed by the former governor And not just that, and gave them the 48 hours to vacate their official residence and palaces. Is this like a kind of political revenge?
Well, see, there is no way he could have just reinstall the Emir Sanusi, Lamid Sanusi, without affecting the others, because when the then era of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Ganduje, you see, he created those one to dispower, to reduce the power of the central Emir, that is the Emir of Kano. You understand? He created the 4 or 5 others. You understand? Pari Paso give them equal power with that of the Kano. You know, in Kano, there are 44 local governments. And the 44 local government, the Emir of Kano is central. He commands all the other chiefs.
Okay.
You understand? But when Abdullah Ganduje was to kick him, they now technically or administratively came on board with the idea that, look, there should be decentralization because of the ancient history of Kano Emirate. Now he created Rano, created Bichi, created, I think, Karaye, and so on and so forth. You understand?
Yes.
So by reducing the power of the Emir of Kano, now when this man is coming, there's no way he will have said, okay, I've reinstalled you for you only to be the Emir of Kano. You understand? Paru Pasu, the orders that were created. This is a new government. So they felt, by so doing, let's bring everything. Let's return the sanctity, if I could put it that way, or the original architecture or the organigram of the traditional institution in Kano.
Okay.
You understand? So that was what they did. Instead of the decentralized, just like the Emir brought that innovation, now let's make it the way it was before. So that the Emir of Kano should have the overall power in checkmating and overseeing the traditional institution as far as Kano Emirate is concerned. So I don't look at this as vengeance. It could be vengeance, but I don't know. Maybe it could be vengeance.
Won't it cause a kind of political crisis between his predecessor and the current governor?
That one is existing already. It's just the manner and the impact by which it makes. You see, there is that saying that when 2 elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. So the masses, the traditional institution is the one that is suffering at this moment. People are not given that sense of belonging. You understand?
Yes.
Imagine today I'm an emir. Tomorrow I have been, overnight I have been dethroned.
Yes.
Yes. I have my loyalist. Just like the dethroned and the enthroned have their, his or her loyalist. So obviously, if I'm dethroned, may people, those that align, they are of my opinion and of my the people that are gain their support must definitely go angry. And when they go angry, it affects the political system. You understand?
Yes.
And you know, don't keep away that the spiritual aspect of any traditional institution, because this traditional any traditional institution, even in India, upholds the spiritual power of the people.
Okay.
You understand? It upholds the spiritual power of the people. For you to dethrone an emir, you must be spiritually prepared. We have case now in Taraba where there was a vacancy anyway due to crisis in Takum for almost 37 years. That is the local government of my renowned General T.Y. Anjuma. It was just last week that an emir has been installed and they made it to be rotational. The Constitution, the National Assembly has to create a constitution to create for rotational system whereby 3 houses can now rotate the chief scientist title as against the one Uke Takum. You know that in my state, that zone, there is that political tension as we speak. So this is just another issue, and that is how you find it all over. So the ability of the government, in a nutshell, the ability of the government to be able to curtail this kind of excesses, this kind of, if to some extent, abnormalities, Because for every actions, there must be the disadvantage as well as the advantages. So this disadvantage should not always outweigh the advantages. Because when it outweighs the advantages, then obviously we are bound to have serious crisis. That is just it.
Okay, let me quickly add. Now that he's been rethroned, how do you think he can play a crucial role in politics? You know, before now you said that he's an activist, a comrade. So it tends to show that he is someone that is outspoken. He believes in transparency. Now that he's been restored back as the Emir, how do you think he can play a crucial role?
Now, of course, you see, an activist is sometimes is inborn. When you see somebody being an activist or a human rights activist, sometimes it's inborn in us. Even when you want to try to be diplomatic, you find out you wouldn't know when you go, when you see that outburst.
Because you're concerned about the people.
You are concerned. But in activism, what is fundamental to do or to observe is, in as much as you are concerned over the pliers and demands of the people, you should, when given the opportunity, you should be able to render those services. You understand? So that the larger society will now be able to say, this man is indeed a human rights activist. He cares for the people. And when you are now attacking either your adversary or your opponent or whosoever, people will have reason to say, yes, he's attacking him based on his personal antecedents. You understand? So what am I trying to say in a nutshell? His Majesty, the Emir of Kano, the newly installed Emir of Kano, reinstalled Emir of Kano, so to say, should now be able to have policies and programs that could favor the general masses of Kano, and should be able to have a kind of fundamental and matured understanding with the government that brought him in power. We don't want to hear a situation whereby tomorrow or next he's attacking the governor on air or on public gathering. We expect there should be that reasonable amount of understanding, reasonable amount of human impact as far as the state is concerned, as far as the traditional institution in Kano is concerned. For others to emulate, for others to say, oh, the former governor wasn't right by dethroning him for the first instance. You understand?
Exactly.
If he fails, then automatically my national chairman, Dr. Abdullah Gandhi, will rejoice. We say, I told you that this guy cannot make up a good Emir. That was why I removed him. You understand? Exactly. He will rejoice. Because of course, he wouldn't be at ease. Even myself, I wouldn't be at ease having dethroned somebody and now he is now my Emir. You understand? Whenever he goes to Kano, under normal circumstances, my national chairman is supposed to have called him and congratulated him. Because
do you think he will do that?
He should. He's an academician and a politician. And whether we agree or not, he's a father in Kano that people are looking up to. He's a role model, not only in Kano but Nigeria. Don't forget, he is leading a national party that is a political party that's a giant in Africa. You know, Nigeria is the biggest black nation.
Yes.
So he should be able to be humble by calling him and congratulating him. And not only that, he should be able to go and visit him, so that to teach the citizens that lesson that, look, politics is not a game of what? It's not a game of bitterness, according to a renowned politician, Aminu Kano. You understand? We shouldn't politics should not be a game of bitterness. Politics should be played to create, to provide dividends. So I advise, if he has not done that, he should be able to be humble enough, call him, congratulate him, and create a time with his people. Go to him, okay, you have been installed. let's forgive, let's build Kano, let's build our people.
Okay. All right, away from the Kano matter, let's talk national matter, because you are a member of the APC. And in few days, the APC will be 1 year into power. The renewed hope of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would be 1 year in office. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the government of the current administration under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, for the fact that I'm a member of APC does not deprive me of that my citizenship right.
Okay.
And as a citizen under a government that I was part and parcel of it coming in, you know, for you to be in a political party, you have your interest to safeguard, no matter how little or big it is. And when that interest is not forthcoming, you are bound to lament, either in silence or in public. You understand? The president came up, I keep on saying, he came up with that renew hope. When you say renew hope, that means the hope was in question.
Okay.
And because it was in question, you are telling your electorate that I am going to give you a fresher hope, a hope that will now make you feel you are part and parcel of the society.
So far, so good. Has he been able to do that? But before then, let's quickly take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location, please. Good to have you, Collins. Please go ahead. Okay.
I want to comment a little bit.
All right. Please go ahead.
As of this present administration and the last administration, although we have not even stepped anywhere,
Okay.
that the impact this present government has brought to the life of people is enormous. It's much. Let me start from my state. As of yesterday, you know, my dad is sick, where he was working in areas that are being owned by the former governor, which is a PDP man that doesn't hear anything. He happens to start from 2017, and so many people have received the alert. I want to still thank him, but let him take it backward too, because I lost my dad 2015. So we are not lucky to be back to the areas. So let him go behind again, at least from that time 2012, 13, so that once you enjoy the event of it. Like as I was saying, Tinubu has tried so much. If it were in the last administration, there was this woman caught up for corruption, one of the ministers also, the woman subject that nature. If it were in the last administration, such a thing will not come out. They'll hide it under the carpet and nobody, not even one will welcome to them. But thank God, as a good president, I have the desire, hope of the nation at hand. She was dealt with. So at least the infrastructures and so many things that is going on with the palliative and the salary structures. Now you even have enough time to discuss with the labor. If they are there, you can't even go for the protest. That was the last administration for you. That it was clear for everybody. I pray God will give you that wisdom and understanding to continue, and at the end, people that say it's not worthy to be, we have to think back again and say God brought it just like He has brought our government. I said earlier. I also thank our House of Rep member, the impact she has put into the life of the youth, more especially from her constituency beyond. In fact, she's the only person who know. We don't even know whether we have senator in Yusuf. Because the impact she's putting in, if it is, she's the one that is our senator. I know the heaven will be her. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling. Do have a great day. All right. Please go ahead.
So, as I was saying, that that slogan of renew hope should be pushed to the background where the masses should know that their hope has now been renewed.
But so far, has it been renewed?
Well, to me, the government is still...
At the moment, do you think from where we are, like there is a light at the end of the tunnel?
Of course there should be. There is signs of light at the end of the tunnel. Despite the pains of the high inflation due to some other issues like the removal of fuel subsidy, you understand, that affect the economy. That, in fact, affect the economy because many small-scale business operators are being knocked out or are not getting it. Yes, they are not finding it easy at all. I run a small scale in business myself. I have my cattle or animal ranch, but what I do, how I do buy their feeds and now, it's not easy. You understand? That is just one aspect, and it is applicable by other aspects. You see, his policies, if fully implemented, and you know, for every policy, the pronouncement is there, the putting, the kickstarting, and result. When you pronounce a policy, it immediately has effects in the society. It's just like when you are building a house now, you must, maybe you want to erect a kitchen in your house, you must knock either the mango tree. You know, that mango tree was giving you fruits. Exactly. Within that period that you uproot it, there is no mango or fruit to take. You understand? You have to build, before, in the process of building that kitchen, you understand? The entire family will feel the pain because all your energy, the resources is now geared towards the building. But when it is done, and by the time it is ready for the entire family, not everybody is relaxed. So the government, to me, there are many issues in Nigeria. As a serious government, a serious president, you know, he must make some pronouncements, new political pronouncements that, you know, people will receive shock, but when they are fully implemented at the end of the day, people will enjoy it. But for now, I have to, while I'm receiving the shock too, the heat too, as a member and as a citizen, you understand, I have to be a citizen before I belong to a member of a political party, yes, for crying out loud. So while doing that, you see, he should be proactive. Our party should be very proactive in taking decisions, administrative. And we expect, look, the problem of Nigeria is not only the presidency. 99% of Nigerians leave the president, leave the governors, and concentrate only on the president.
Because he's the commander-in-chief.
No! If he is the commander-in-chief, every month there is that federal allocation. Every month. I have never had in the history of my life where a president had only for 1 month without giving federal allocation. The federal allocation is to handle the issues, the economic and welfare of the people of the states. You understand? Now, listen, let me tell you. Now, the states have the bulk of the people and the bulk of the activities because there in the state exists the local government and the districts. And don't forget, the local government is under the states. And by what? By that constitution, section 162, 160, 164, 165, 167 of the Constitution, whereby when the allocation of the federal allocation is given to the local government, it has to pass through the account of the state, and the account of the state will now sit. You understand? Will sit with the local government, what they call state joint account, and deliberate. So in this circumstance, in the present Nigerian society now, local government is dysfunctional. It's not functioning. Local government have been annexed. And we have chunk of population in the local government. The primary education, you understand, the junior primary education, our healthcare system are all found at the base. And the state government are not giving them their allocation. The security issues, which is even fundamental. You understand? The local government are incapacitated. They cannot handle all these issues. You understand? Our traditional institutions are there. They cannot handle them. So if they cannot handle them, you see a problem has been created from the grassroots, which is not the role of the president. The president, his role is, okay, at the end of the day, we share allocations. What is the essence of the allocation? Is to take care of the masses, of the citizens. Somebody somewhere is hijacking those people at the grassroots. You understand? And that affects the central government. And all the time you hear the governors attacking the president. I listened to my Northeast Governors Forum. I'm a spokesperson as far as Northeast sub-region is concerned, our political organization, Northeast Development Association is concerned. I'm the spokesperson, the Secretary General. You understand? Now, imagine our governors are coming out to say we have been shortchanged in terms of infrastructural federal capital development. As a governor, as powerful as governors are, and don't forget, we have governors, we have senators, we have ministers, which is constitutional. A governor can see a president, can see the president in no time without protocol. But they are coming out on media to say the federal government is not doing enough in the sub-region. When the federal government has given us Northeast Development Commission, an agency to rehabilitate, reconstruct, reconcile the people first. Reconcile the people, because crimes and conflict arises when people don't understand. You understand? When people don't agree, there comes crisis. A commission has been set to that effect to handle those issues. We expect people from Northeast expect the governor should be in good time, good working relationship with the agency to what? Reconstruct, rehabilitate, and further bring development to the sub-region. You understand? The cry of electricity in the region, when we have Mambila Hydroelectric Dam, when they can sit down with Northeast Development Commission to even kickstart the project and let thereafter invite the federal government or go into partnership with the federal government. The issue of Mambila Hydroelectric Dam, we should have handled 50% of our electricity problem in Nigeria, has been an issue of pathway for the past 35, 36, 37 to 40 years. Nothing there on ground. Nothing absolutely on ground. You understand? So these are some fundamental issues. What am I trying to say in essence? For a government to be assessed as successful, we citizens must always hold our various state governors accountable, because the allocations given to them, when they are accountable, and when they are appropriating it judiciously, we will now see national development.
Let's quickly take this caller before you continue. A very good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Your name and location, please.
Same calling.
Okay, please go ahead.
I was lucky to participate in your program this morning.
No.
You see, I want to thank the analyst first. But moreover, one of my problems with people is their manifesto. Just like he was sitting in the studio, telling us the reality of life today. I want to ask him, if today or tomorrow he was opportune to be the governor of the state, is he going to do the same thing as just he has been saying? More or less, the most thing that is affecting most of our people is this seat-tight syndrome. That is, if you are elected to be the governor, after your 8 years, you want to impose another governor, whereby you not still give him a free chance to rule or to take care of the state. Right now, he wants him to do what he wants him to do. Whereby most of the problem we are having is just salary. Most of them doesn't pay salary. If you look at my state today, since 2015 that we have PDP, the salary they are owing people now, if God should give the grace that this chain of could pay the money, if you hear the amount, you will not. And somebody will sit in one place and pay the whole money. That is what my present governor refuses to do. He was not brought in by anybody. He was brought in by the majority and the masses. If you look at the House of Assembly election, it was a tug of war because of the position. If you don't want to do what I want you to do, the speaker might be my boy. Within a click of an eye, you might be impeached. Thank God it was done according to how the masses want. That is the crisis we are having in Cross River today. Allow them to give the dividends of democracy to the masses, people that voted them in. Sir, I pray God to lift you up more than this.
Amen.
But remember that somebody's made a statement where you are in the studio preaching this gospel there. Are you going to do the same thing? Let the government be brought closer to the masses, to the poor people. That is what democracy is.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, Mr. Collins. All right. Please go ahead, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes.
The submission of the gentleman is very good.
Well, he asked a question. Maybe let me ask you. Let me ask you. He said, if you happen to get into power today, will you do all that you have said?
Of course, why not? For crying out loud, I'm part and parcel of the society. You understand? I started from the crushed. I am a Nigerian. I am born and brought up in Nigeria. I passed through the educational system. You understand? And I have my children who are Nigerians, who are born and brought up in Nigeria, and who are passing through the same system. You understand? He made a very good observation, which I appreciated. Allow, when your tenure of 4 or 8 years finishes, your successor, you should be able to allow your successor to govern the way he is. You should play the role, an adversary role, where he's going wrong.
Okay.
That is why in Borno today, His Excellency the VP, Kashi Shatima, does not, I am fully aware, does not interfere in the Zulum's administration. Rather, he applauded him from time to time, where he's doing well. And that is why you see Zulum is succeeding. Some governors will say, I want you to do this, I want you to give me 25% or 10% or 20% of the allocation. For what? For bringing you in. To carry people's money, including the animals of the state money. Because even the animal have right in that federal allocation. You understand? And give it to somebody, one individual. It's not fair. So we should be patriotic. So look, going down to the national level, the policies of my presidents are good, but at the moment we are receiving the hate, we expect that the citizens should be able to come, though you can't come when you are crying of hunger.
No.
So the president should hearken to the cries and demands of the citizen by making impact economically, control the inflation rates in the nation.
Let me quickly ask, because time is no longer outside. You say the policies of the president are all good. Let me ask, in what aspects, in all the challenges we are facing, our educational sector, security, inflation, and other, what aspect do you think that this government has addressed properly? Because when we even talk about the educational sector, okay, the student loan has been brought in and been signed into law. But when you look at the increments this administration brought in educational sector, it looks like, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And now the insecurity sector, you said the policies are good. So now give me what particular aspect do you think that this government has in 12 months addressed properly?
You see, to me, I am an advocate. I am not an advocate of 4-year term to start with. Okay,
so you think the 12 months or 1 year
because
isn't
even
enough?
4 years cannot make a government to be as successful, for crying out loud. In a nation like Nigeria, that the institutions are not properly in place. In no institution in Nigeria that's properly in place. Our institutions all round is corrupted. You need a very serious and committed government to get it right. And before you get it right, there must be that pronouncement of some policies and pursuance of the pronouncement of the policies to its tail end determines whether that policies of the government is in ground. 1 year to make you cannot assess a government. Believe me, 1 year is not enough to assess a government.
Maybe not all the challenges we have as a nation.
We have multidimensional, multisectorial problems in this country. Is it the educational system? Is it the economy? Is it the my God?
But Nigerians feel that a certain aspect should have or ought to have been addressed by now. At least 1 year in office. We know we have a lot of challenges, but maybe let's just say one, like this one.
You are a Nigerian, I am a Nigerian.
We are.
Yes
we
or
all
no?
are, yes.
When the president, you are here in Nigeria as a journalist, I'm here in Nigeria as a Nigerian. When the president announced the removal of fuel subsidy and when there was outcry, he now introduced palliative and grants. People received the grant. These grants were given through some of our senators, members, House of Representatives, and senators and ministers. Do Nigerians receive that adequately? Only maybe 1% of Nigerians receive that. Is it the problem of the president? I just told you now that the president, no month that the president don't release the federal allocation. What is the essence of the federal allocation? Is it for a governor to take it and disappear into thin air? The answer is no. It's for service deliverance. Are they delivering the services?
Let's quickly take this call before we go because our time is fast running. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Like the person you just asked the analyst, let me chip in now. This particular administration, you know the road network we have been enjoying, if I'm not mistaken, most of those roads are being constructed during the military era.
Okay.
As we are talking now, there is no state, there is no federal roads that is not under construction now. If the last administration, at least from the early democratic era, if all these things have been taken care of when dollar was nothing to write on about, at least we would have had other things to take care of. Look at the administration of the lecturers and all the state workers and the federal workers now. Which government has ever listened to the plight of the workers like this government? I'm not working, I'm a student. But in spite of all these things, this same government give an ear to all our problems. Just like the analysts have just said. You can't just chip in into every problem and settle it at a time. No, it's not done. Thank God that is why I said the wisdom that God gives to Solomon, let him give it to Tinubu.
Amen.
And all the people that is working with him.
Amen.
So that we'll forge ahead.
All right.
Not going backwards or sideways, just like the
all right,
suffering in the last 20 years back. Thank you.
All right. Do have a great day. Okay, now we'll have to leave the studio because our time. But in 2 seconds, let me say, do you think APC will retain power come next election, 2027?
It depends on what our performance in the 4 years. So I call on our party, the president, commander-in-chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the national chairman, all the stakeholders. When I say the stakeholders, any other person that is occupying position in this government is that they owe it a duty to renew the hope of Nigerians.
All right.
And that will be the only yardstick through which we could come back to return into power 2017 or not.
All right, viewers, our time is no longer on our side, and at this point we'll have to call it a day. But before we go, let me just take you through a social media trend where the former BBN house, the winner of BBN, I think 3 seasons ago, has cried out loud to Nigerians and to the organizers of BB Niger to pay her IBC or what. Let's just take a short video of that, and when we return, it will be all for the day.